Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. My guest today is a Paris-based businesswoman. She's an expert event planner, travel writer, and industry consultant. She was born in Jamaica, but lived in the USA for many years before she called Paris home. She's also the founder of MyParisianLife, a French food and lifestyle blog that was founded in 2008. Please welcome to the show, Yanique Francis. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. If you want more bonus material and to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/La Vie Creative. And also don't forget to check out Amazon, where you can pick up my new book, Paris, A Life Less Ordinary. In the book, I talk about my creative adventures in Paris, from starting my business to being homeless, hello, starving artist, to how I met all these wonderful creative people. Don't forget to check it out on Amazon. And also, thank you so much once more for listening and for your support. Enjoy the show. So welcome to the show, Yanique. I am very happy to have you here. We have a lot of friends in mutual, actually, obviously the Paris community is very small. I feel like everyone knows everybody. It's a village, basically, but it's nice to finally chat with you.
Thanks for having me, Crystal.
You are a busy woman. I mean, you're doing event planning, a travel writer. You just started some other new company ideas that we're going to talk about later. But you are the founder of MyParisianLife, a food blog, lifestyle blog since 2008. What brought you to Paris to start all of this?
I came to Paris not to start anything. I did not want to start any fires.
Whoops.
I came to Paris with my then husband. We were living in New York at the time, and he's French, and he had, innocently, I think, said, well, I want to go back to Paris for a year. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's go to Paris for a year. And then a year just turned into forever.
Wow. And that was back in 2008?
That was in 2008. Yeah. That was in 2000. What am I saying? That was in 2007. I started the blog in 2008.
And that was like the best time to start a blog, right? 2008.
For sure. I think it was just such an exciting time. Now it's still exciting, but then it was super, super just like, what is going on? I don't even speak French. Oh my God, water ticket restaurant. And I wanted to really chronicle my living experience here, because I got like kind of tired of sending individual emails to all my friends and family. And I just wanted to document everything on a blog. And so I had another blog, actually, which is not My Parisian Life, that I would just really talk about everything that was going on with me here, that was more fashion oriented. And so that's how I started.
That's so crazy. So basically you were just sick of telling your friends what was going on back home. You're like, just read the blog.
Pretty much. I just got lazy. I was like, yeah. I have a lot of energy, but I think at times I can be quite lazy. I'm just like, okay, if we can do this in another way, let's do it.
Work smarter than harder, right?
For sure.
And so talk a little bit about creativity. Obviously you probably consider yourself a creative. How would you define creativity?
I think creativity is just freedom in motion, really. I consider myself to be a super creative person. I have 1,000 ideas all the time. I can literally meet someone and within 10 seconds or 10 minutes, let's say 10 minutes of us having a conversation, I can already tell you the things that you could do creatively to like upgrade your life.
Yeah. Oh, you're a life coach.
For sure. I don't know, like I have this thing where I'm just like, well, actually you could do this. It sounds like you should be doing that.
And have you always been this way? Like, I guess it was later in life you discovered that you had all these ideas and could help people in these ways. I mean, I kind of feel you on the project front. You know, I feel like we're always coming up with new projects.
Mm.
And I'm always joking with myself, being like, okay, I have a lot of projects. Do you want a project? But it's like we're always starting things before we finish them. Do you ever feel that way?
Yes, I do. But as my good friend Carolyn would tell me, she says I'm what is known as a generator, and generators are people. So this is like something super spiritual, but
Hmm.
generators are people who technically like we can start a lot of projects and we don't necessarily have to finish them because the things that we do also inspire others to start projects that they will then finish.
Ah,
And so
yeah.
it's like it's just a win-win for everybody.
Oh, that makes me feel so much better. Yanique, you are my soul sister. Oh my God, now I can tell myself I'm generating other projects that I don't have to finish.
But then who says we'll never finish? I mean, we're still alive. Maybe we're just putting it
Exactly.
on pause.
We're just excited, you know, like we have a lot of things we want to do and ideas are constantly coming to us. And it's just, there's so much, we just want to spread that, right?
For
It's all
sure.
about spreading that creativity. And what are some ways that you keep yourself inspired? Like, where are these ideas coming from? What is your process?
I have a very, very open sacral chakra.
I like that.
And so my process for that is I unblock my chakras. I meditate in the mornings, I journal. I do a lot of healing work. I have a healer here in Paris. I see people. I do therapy, um, and I try not to keep things inside, and so I can get out of my own way.
I like that. Get out of your own way. And actually, it's so funny because I've always thought that spirituality and creativity are so deeply connected. And it sounds like you're kind of on the same route with that, with healers and things like that. And I've never learned about that stuff until I got to Paris. Like everyone
Mm.
has a Reiki healer here. It's a thing. I didn't even know
I
what that was before.
have a funny story. So I went to see a Reiki healer and I was so nervous before I went. Like I sat downstairs at a cafe and I ordered myself some wine and I was just like, I'm just gonna get drunk because like this is ridiculous. Um, and so I went upstairs to her office and which was also her home. And the first thing she said to me, she's like, you don't need a Reiki healer. She's
Ah!
like, I was like, okay.
You don't want my money?
Like she took my money. Like we did other things, but we didn't.
She's like, I'll still take your money, but you don't need to
No,
be
it
here.
was wonderful. It was a different type of healing process, but yeah.
It's funny though. I mean, I really do believe that, you know, obviously meditation and like the chakras, that's all stuff that I'm just starting to learn about, but there is a connection. Can you like talk a little bit about that?
For sure, for sure. So, I think at some point in the last 2 or 3 years, I got a really depressed, especially after Charlie Hebdo. It was during a period in my life when I had left like the corporate world and really went 100% into my entrepreneurial life. And then Charlie Hebdo hit. And so
Mm.
that was the first time that I actually had a very, very drastic change in like my finances and my professional life. And I just couldn't cope. And I decided to really go inside and go internally. And I started to work with a life coach
Mhm.
who actually taught me nothing about chakras. This was something that I just wanted to study a lot of traditional healing practices. And so I created my own little like chakra cards based on
Mm.
like all of the research that I was doing for months.
Yeah.
And so I meditate with my own cards actually. And it's a very therapeutic process. And I know that it works because every time I speak to my body and the particular chakra, I yawn. And it's just
Hmm.
it's an amazing feeling. Um,
Wow.
but you know, like the chakras are basically like sort of like energy points within our body, and everyone has these. And you know, we can go into like the traditional seven, but there's some people who think that there's more. And basically, if you start from the crown of your head, that's where your what we call the crown chakra is located, and that's what's connected to like spirituality and connected to the color purple. And if it's, I mean, I'm not sure if you want me to go into every single chakra. I feel like I'm going on.
Oh no, but I mean, I love hearing about this stuff. Go into like where's the creativity coming mostly from? Is it all
So
connected, or is there one that's
it's
really
all
like weird?
connected, but for me, and for everyone in general, like our creativity is very strongly linked to our sacral chakra, because this
Mm,
is the chakra that is linked to creation, which means it's also the chakra that's linked to like the creation of babies or of companies, of projects, of ideas. And so when it's blocked, we often have low self-esteem. We blame ourselves. We fear intimacy, like all these things. And there's a lot of ways to unblock our chakras. If we wanted to unblock our sacral chakra, you can wear the color yellow, this like very bright yellow a lot, that'll infuse or strengthen your sacral chakra. There are oils that we can use. There are certain mantras that we can say to unblock our sacral chakra. But it's not just about saying it. You have to also feel it and believe it. It's for
mm.
it to work.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. And I think a lot of people like yourself, we start searching for this stuff once we are completely blocked and feeling lost. And kind of we turn away from Western medicine a little bit and say, okay, let me try something different. The Prozac's not working. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let me check out
Mm-hmm.
these chakras. And do
Mm-hmm.
you believe that sexuality and creativity are connected as well? Because that we're
Oh
talking
my
about
God,
creation.
yes, for
Yeah.
sure. Because it's just at the end of the day, it's both are about creation.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
the primal point of actually having sex is also to procreate.
Yeah.
And sexuality and the artistic act of creating are very much linked.
That kind of makes me wonder about, because I was going to ask you next, like, why do you think creatives are attracted to Paris? But it kind of makes sense because Paris has kind of always been like very like sexually open. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think creatives are attracted to Paris just because it has like this certain laissez-faire. It seems easier to be an artist in Paris. I think
Mhm.
it's not necessarily so much about the sexuality. I think we have this idea of Paris, which is true, that there are galleries and artists on every street, and that everyone can be an artist in Paris. And the same is true actually in almost everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
We can be artists everywhere, but I think traditionally France has a culture of cultivating these types of personalities, and so historically we've seen that it's more possible in France and in Paris.
Yeah. It feels like it's a little more respected in some ways. Like if I
Mhm.
told people in America I'm a photographer, they're like, oh, that's nice. Like, what else do you do? You can't possibly make an income with that. But here they're like genuinely interested. They're like, okay, cool. Moving on.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
And do you have any like business advice for creatives? You seem like a very business savvy woman creating all these companies, inspiring
Mm,
others. What's some of the
mm,
business advice? Because I feel like we suffer a lot with that as creatives.
mm. I'd say, I mean, I feel like they're quite simple. I'm like questioning myself, like, are they too simple? I'd say
Yeah.
follow your joy. I'm all about doing things that feel good. If you can do something that makes you feel good and you can actually also be of service to someone else and to make a profit from that, and the profit part comes later, you want to first think about what is it that I actually really like to do? How
Mm,
can this thing or service or product or whatever it is serve someone else that is not myself?
hmm.
Um, and eventually you'll find a way to make money from that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like when you find your joy, it kind of inspires other people. Like
Yeah,
the
because
energy is infectious.
for sure, it's like I'm a firm believer in whatever you want to do. You as long as you're happy doing it, you're unstoppable.
I like that. And do you ever feel like we talked about, we're always coming up with projects. Do you ever feel like scattered a little bit or like, oh my gosh, I'm picking too many things? Or as you said, you're just a generator. Like, how do you kind of narrow down one thing to focus
This
on?
is such a delicious question, because this is something that I've asked myself for many years, and at some point I decided to stop asking myself this question, because I said, it's basically like I have a house that has many rooms.
Mm.
And it's fine to have many rooms within my house. I can have a
Yeah,
chateau with many rooms and many valeurs.
I like it.
So I see my projects as really sort of chapters in the book of my life, and it's fine.
I like that. So we don't have to fix it. There is no problem there. We're allowed to be passionate about many
For
things.
sure, we're generators.
Yeah, we're all generators. Get into those chakras, people. You will generate. And you mentioned that you were passionate about self-care. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Mm. So, yeah, like I said before, I think for me, one of the most important components of being a human being and being alive is to find ways to have joy. You know, life in itself is already so complicated and stressful. And oh my God, don't even get me started on so many things. I think oftentimes we forget that small things can also bring us joy. So for me, it's always reminded myself to come back to a point of joy and to share that joy. I'm a naturally very optimistic and positive person. But that's also just because I've had a very, very hard life. And I think you don't necessarily have to have a hard life to appreciate life, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for me, self-care is whatever you want it to look like for you, just as long as you're doing whatever it's necessary to feed your soul. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you want to make sure that the answers are never outside of yourself.
I like that. That's very reassuring to know that you can just, go inside to find it. And I guess a lot of that is through meditation and quiet time.
I mean, I think I don't want to come off as like one of these people who are like, oh yeah, meditate, do yoga, drink your water, which are all great. But I do believe that if we can find something that makes us kind of lose time, that in itself is meditation.
Hmm.
You see what I mean? Like if you can't really sit still for 30 minutes and go inside, perhaps, just like watering your plants for 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever and singing to your plants, and that's your meditative ritual for the day. That's
Yeah.
also great.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be so structured because I mean, myself included in this, I'm like terrible at meditation. But yeah, I can easily, I think that's why I'm such like a huge advocate for creativity because we get into those flow states and that's the same as meditation. We're very in
Mm,
the moment.
for sure.
I think that's so important. And I think that's why everyone should find a little something creative to do in their lives. And has Paris changed you at all? Like you said, you came here not expecting to stay. Your life is completely different now. Like, how has Paris changed you?
Are you trying to get me in trouble?
I am trying to get you in trouble.
You know what? To be honest, I feel like how can I judge the changes that have happened internally with myself or about myself based on where I live? Because I don't know if this 38-year-old Yanique was living in New York, would I be a different Yanique? I don't know.
Hmm.
Since
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think I've just changed. I think I've just changed over the years.
Hmm.
And Paris is a beautiful place to change. It's an amazing playground to learn so much about life and yourself and others. And it's a beautiful gift.
Yeah. Paris is definitely a place that I think has inspired many over the years. And I'm always trying to place my finger on exactly why. I mean, obviously the museums and it's a beautiful city, but is there something more going on there? That's always my question.
Um, you know what? I think for me, I never came to Paris with the intention of actually staying. I didn't even so my original intention was like, okay, cool. So we're gonna do a year. I'm not even gonna pack my clothes. We'll just leave with love. Um, and so it was never like I've been dreaming of Paris since I was 3 years old. I want to speak French, all of that. So for me, um my transition, my and also maybe it's my personality because I've lived in so many different places and countries. I was just like, okay, what is it that I need to do next? What how and so I'm always trying to do the next thing, but also always trying to find ways to have fun.
Yeah.
Um, if that makes sense.
Do you think that when you start earning income with your creativity, it can take the joy away?
No, I think what happens is we start to realize that we have a fear of money.
Mm.
But it doesn't take the joy away. It just gives us another thing to work on or to look at. And that is that a lot of creatives have a fear of money because we've not had money for so long.
Yeah.
And so when we start to make money, it's like, oh my God, is this real? Is it really happening? And so we, in a way, self-sabotage and reject the money that is coming from our creativity.
Yeah.
So we actually block our own flow of money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
money loves us. Money loves me. Let's go
Money
see. This
wants
is
to
going to
come
be
to
our money
us.
trap.
And how do you feel about burnout? Do you believe it exists? Do you think,
For
like,
sure.
have you suffered from it? Like, how do you feel about burnout?
For sure. I think burnouts are real. And it's really a sign that we need to slow down and come back to ourselves. Burnouts happen when to be honest, when we try to do things that are outside of the moment or outside of the scope of what we can do in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's actually sometimes it's great to be burnt out because then you realize your limit. And as human beings, and especially the way we live, we think we don't really have limits, and it's not true.
Yeah.
Every person at whatever stage we are in our lives, we have certain limits, and burnouts just show us that. And it also shows us that actually, you know what, our bodies are doing so much for us on a regular basis that we don't even realize. And so when our bodies are just like, I'm overworked, I'm tired, then we're just like, whoa, this is what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's important to keep that check. I didn't start doing that till my 30s. I would just go, go, go. And I was like, screw you, body. I can do what I want. And my body's like, you're sick all the time because you're not listening to me.
I am not about that life. I am about, like, seriously talking to my body. I talk to my hair. I rub my breast. I'm just like, I love you guys so much.
I need you. No, we all need to do more of that.
Yeah, I think, and I even apologize to my body for all the times I've said, well, I don't like this part, and if I could, I'm just like, oh my God, like my heart is beating without me actually having to ask it to beat, and it's keeping me alive, and I could just be grateful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's something I was reading the other day is that, we just don't appreciate our bodies. And even people who like go blind or lose a leg, they don't, even after they go back to their normal lives, it's not like they appreciate their body more. They're just like they adapt, like we adapt. That's just the way we work. And what were some of the biggest opposing forces on your creative journey?
Oh my God, like
life.
Yeah, I think it's just the biggest opposing factors. I think it's always just me. It's like the thought patterns. Sometimes you have very strong thought patterns because of previous experiences, and I think a lot of things comes back to thought. Obviously, like we can't change our environments fully. So there are environmental factors in place, but also sometimes you can just learn to accept certain things. But for me, I think the biggest challenges that I've ever had or ever will have will just be myself and my thoughts, because thoughts are just so powerful. And
Yeah. And I've recently been reading the Power of Now, and it's always talking about, looking at your thoughts, from a distance and just and I'm like, oh my God.
I'm like, oh my God, my thoughts are racing right now. I don't want to look at that.
I just want to get out of my head right now. Like there's too much going on in there. But it is interesting. Like, how do you feel about it? Like we examine our own thoughts? Like we can do that. That's a thing. But
I love it. I just love it. Like my son is like, Mom, you're weird that you're talking to yourself. I'm just like, we're having a great conversation.
Like I am not schizophrenic.
I'm all about realizing that our thoughts are here, but we're not always our thoughts, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can allow it, or I can allow it to just come and go. And because sometimes they're so strong that I can't control and I can't neglect it and I can't run from it, but I have to be like, okay, so you're here, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But it can go the other way too, right? About always like, thinking about what you want and focusing on it and creating that. Like, do you believe in that as well? But what if you're focusing on too much of a bad thing? You're like, I don't want that to come to fruition. Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So I've learned that I've recently learned that it doesn't matter if you say I don't want this or I want this. You will get it, because the subconscious doesn't understand when you say don't. So if you say, oh, I don't want to be poor, well, the focus is actually on being poor. So then that's what's just going to happen. So I've just learned to just to change the way that I even speak to myself. And it comes back to the thought process as well. Like, okay, I'm not going to think in a way negatively about a situation. How can I reword that or rethink that in a positive way?
I like that. So don't even give the words a chance. Only put the good in.
No, because it's like, to be honest, like words are powerful, and that's why we use them, because we know that they're powerful. So
yeah,
I'm just
be careful with your words.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And what are some future projects that you're excited about and what you have going on right now? I mean, you have a lot going on. Would you like to share with listeners?
For sure. So, my loves, I have My Parisian Life, which is a blog on the things to do here in Paris, the best places to eat, drink, and stay. I've had that since 2008. I'm also a wedding planner. I plan beautiful, intimate weddings and elopements here at ElopeinParis.com. I've been doing that for 7 years. And in the last 2 or 3 years, I've created the Paris Foodie Bag, which is a picnic bag with curated wines, cheese, souvenirs, and such delivered to your hotel or Airbnb here in Paris. And so what I'm doing right now is to reformulate or to refocus on the Paris Foodie Bag to create additional offerings for 2021. Obviously, right now, we don't really have a lot of people coming to Paris. So this is a great opportunity to work on creating extension projects for 2021. So I'm focused on obviously my weddings, but also creating different types of picnic bags, different types of cheese platters. I have this amazing new mini cheese platter that I'm just putting out this week on the Instagram of Paris Foodie Bag. Super excited as well about the visuals.
Yum.
Yeah. And yeah, like I've just started to add more videos to the YouTube of My Parisian Life. And I'm excited about that as well. Someone left a comment that I need to work on my audio. So I'm working on that.
I hear you. Oh, that's great. We'll have to put that all in the show notes. And where can people connect with you online?
So the best place to meet me and to see me in HD, my loves, is on My Parisian Life. I'm also on ElopeinParis. So it's My Parisian Life and ElopeinParis. And you can also find me on Paris Foodie Bag.
Perfect. Well, we'll definitely put all that in the show notes. And I was so happy to speak with you today. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
Working on our chakras and eating more cheese. I think that's the goal in life.
Oh my God, guys, you want to make sure that you're drinking your water. Like this is a very interesting year. 2020 is real.
Yes.
I send you all so much love. I know that this is a global community experience that we're having right now. I know a lot of us are doing the best that we can, and sending you lots of love. Take care of yourself first, drink your water, nurture your internal garden. Your creativity is going to come from all of the seeds that you're planting right now in your creative internal garden. work on that, and you'll see.
I love that. Amen to that. I think this is a good growing period for all of us. We can plant those seeds, and joy is coming, people. Don't give up just yet.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Yanique, and we'll talk
for
soon.
having me.
Of course.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.